Okay, my name is Mike Jacobson. I'm with the South Dakota Retirement System. I'm a retirement planner. I've been with the system for about 12 years now. And we're going to go over the South Dakota Retirement System here for you, that you're all a member of. And now, if you have any questions, just put them in the Q&A, and we'll answer them as we go along, or at the end there, depending on how, if we need to handle those right away. So I'm going to go on here. We'll step on to the next slide here, and there we go. This is the disclaimer, like Alan said. You'll see on my screen it says Alan normally gives this. So as he normally says, I can pretty much tell you anything I want, and you can't hold me accountable. That's just what this disclaimer is about. And with SDRS, when folks retire and are planning to retire, we tell them to shoot for at least 85% income replacement when they're doing their initial planning. And that 85% pre-retirement income coming from their income replacement coming from Social Security, SDRS, then like their additional personal savings, like in a 457 plan, a 401k, IRAs, anywhere they have some, personal savings at. Now SDRS, will provide a 30-year employee somewhere between 50 and 55% income replacement. So that's a pretty good chunk right there. And then Social Security at full retirement age will provide somewhere between 35 and 40% income replacement. So between those two, you can actually be sitting pretty well, and they're both lifetime income sources. Now SDRS is a defined benefit plan, and we have Class A and Class B members in the plan. And Class A members are folks that are like teachers and the DOT, folks that work for DOT, a lot of the folks at Game Fish and Parks. Most of the administrative folks are all Class A members. We contribute 6%, and the employers contribute 6%. And then we have our Class B folks. Now, that's a smaller group. That's like our state troopers, our correctional officers, some folks in UJS, our Class B members, and they contribute 8%, and their employer also puts in 8%. Nice thing about SDRS is we're a lifetime benefit. Additionally, we provide a cost of living raise each year once you start receiving a benefit. And then we also provide survivor, family, and disability benefits, which is kind of nice. And you get all that for your contribution rates. Now, who participates in SDRS? It's all permanent full-time employees. And we define that as people that work more than 20 hours per week and for more than 6 months out of the year. Now, you become vested in SDRS after 3 years of contributory service. And when we say vested, that just means you're eligible for a lifetime retirement benefit. Now, when you look at SDRS, we're one plan, but we have two different benefit structures within that plan. We have our foundation members, or those folks who joined before July 1st, 2017. And then we have our generational people who joined after July 1st, or on or after July 1st, 2017. Both of them are lifetime benefits, and they both have just a little bit different features to them. Let's take a look at them. Push that button there. Now, on our Class A foundation members, their normal retirement age is age 65. They can retire as early as 55 with a 3% reduction to their benefit. Or they can retire what we call the rule of 85. And that's if when your age and your service total 85, you can retire with no reduction applied to your benefit prior to age 65. Now, when we were designing the generational plan, and we realized just like Social Security, people are living longer. So we moved the normal retirement age up to 67, which then we also raised the early retirement age to 57. Now, you notice that there's that the foundation members are 3%, but the generational members are 5%. And what we found is that 3% reduction for folks that retire early isn't really enough, because what ends up happening is the other members in the system are subsidizing those folks in the foundation side that retire and have a 3% reduction to their benefit. So that when we analyze that number needs to be 5%. So that way the other members aren't subsidizing the members who are retiring early with a reduced benefit. Now, for the generational members, there's no special early retirement. However, they do have a variable retirement account. Now, the benefit formulas are basically the same. We got a benefit multiplier, final average compensation, years accredited service, and then we subtract the early retirement reduction if you retire prior to age 65 or 67. That gives us our yearly benefit amount. Now let's take a look at the multipliers. For the foundation members, we have a 1.7% for service before July of 08 and a 1.55 for service after July of 08. And the reason you see the difference between the two multipliers is prior to 08, we had more money in the system, and they passed legislation to move that multiplier up to 1.7. However, they said if the market crashes, we want to go back to the base multiplier of 1.55. And of course, we all know what happened. The market crashed, so we went back to the 1.55 for service after July 1st, 2008. Now, the generational members, the nice thing about them is they have a 1.8% multiplier. So, we gave up some stuff early on, but now we got a much higher multiplier, which is a lot nicer for the generational members, provide them a higher benefit. Now, in the equation, we have the final average compensation, and how we calculate that. We're currently transitioning the foundation members from a 3-year final average compensation. We're finishing that up this year. Starting next year, they're going to a 4-year final average compensation. Then after July 1st of 2022, they're going to a 5-year final average compensation, which is the same as the generational members, the highest 20 consecutive quarters of the last 40 quarters. So we look back at your last 10 years, take your highest 20 consecutive quarters of your last 40 quarters, and that becomes the final average compensation that we use in the equation. Let's look at this example. We're going to use a generational. We've got a benefit multiplier of 1.8% times $30,000 year average salary. They worked 30 years, so their annual benefit is $16,200 per year. So what we do is divide that by 12, and we pay it monthly to the members on the 15th of the month. Now, say you just work 10 years, and this is not using the reduction here. So we take 1.8 times the same final average compensation. Now the person only has 10 years of service. Now the annual benefit's $5,400 per year. Now here's a really nice thing that the generational members have that I wish I had as a foundation member. It's called a variable retirement account. So currently 1.5% of your pay is going into this account, and it's earning the investment earnings that the investment council earns each year. And now the account is payable at retirement, disability, or death, and it can be taken out in a lump sum payment, paid right to you in a check, and you have to pay federal. Of course, you have to pay federal income tax on it. You can roll it over to the supplemental retirement plan or any other eligible plan out there. You can use it to purchase a supplemental pension benefit. Now, if a member works for an employer, an SDRS employer unit for 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, and they say, then they leave that employer, they say, you know what, I'm going to cash my SDRS account out. If they cash their account out, they forfeit the variable retirement account. They don't get to keep that. Now, the SDRS does provide family benefits. If you have children under the age of 19 in the home and you pass away after you have 3 years of service, or if you pass away by performing your normal duties, we'll pay a family benefit to your children, which is equal to 25% of your final average compensation or your unreduced retirement benefit at the time of passing, whichever one's the highest. And how it works is, let's say there's 3 children, and we calculate the benefit and we split it a third, a third, and a third. The oldest child turns 19, we take the same benefit amount, now we split it 50-50. Then when that middle child turns 19, then the youngest child gets the whole amount through the month in which they turn 19. And then that's how the family benefit's payable. Now, one thing about the family benefit that if you have children out there that are under 18, that you can do to help us out in case something bad happens to you is fill out what we call the E5A form, a transfer to minors form. By law in the state, we cannot pay a minor directly, so we have to pay a conservator. And you can get that E5A form from your employer and fill it out. Just because someone's, even if you're the parent of the child, you're not considered the conservator. So you have to fill out this conservatorship paperwork. It's really easy, transfer to minors form, I should say, and it's really easy. What you want to do is put your child in there, and if you have a spouse that you want to, be the conservator, put your spouse's name as their conservator. You fill that part out, have your spouse sign it. Then you have a successor conservator, say that you both were to pass away in a car crash. Who do you want us to send the money to divvy it back to your children? So So I would really encourage you to get the E5A form if you have children under the age of 18 in the home, and so we can get that on file, and hopefully we never ever have to use it. Now, if you pass away as an active member and you don't have any children, so there's not a family benefit that we're paying right away, your spouse, if they're can elect to take a surviving spouse benefit at age 65 based off your record, and that pays for their lifetime, or 67 for generational. Now, they can take it early as 55 or 57, but it's reduced 5% for every year that they take it prior to 65 or 67. Now, if you're if you're retired and you you pass away, foundation members, it's a flat 60% survivorship. As long as you were married to the member prior to retirement, the spouse will get 60% of the member's benefit for their lifetime. Now, generational members, now their benefit, when we calculate that initially, that is a single life annuity. So when the member passes away, the benefit stops. So for single folks, that's what they would get. Now, if you're married, you can opt to have a 60% survivorship or 100% survivorship for your spouse, and then your benefit's actuarially calculated to pay for that survivorship. Now, there's another thing a lot of folks don't realize that you have disability coverage with SDRS. So if after 3 years of consecutive service, you become disabled and can no longer perform your normal job duties, you can receive a disability benefit from SDRS. And in how we calculate that, that's 25% of your final average compensation or your unreduced retirement benefit at the time of the disability. Now you have to have 3 years of consecutive service. And this injury doesn't have to happen at work. You could be, get injured playing baseball or something like that, or fall on the ice at home. It's just, if you can no longer do your job, then, you may qualify for the disability benefit with SDRS. Now, SDRS does produce, but gives a cost of living raise each year to its retirees. COLA, as a lot of folks will call it. And what it does, it provides partial inflation protection for your benefit. So now the COLA will range between 0% and 3.5%, and we give that out every July 1st. Now, we do offer free educational programs. This pre-retirement workshop that you see here on the top, I highly recommend going to that one as soon as you can. We have one coming up on July 6th. It's the Zoom meeting. You just go to the events part on our website and you can sign up on there, or you can call and we can sign you up. That's a long meeting, but we cover SDRS, supplemental, and we also cover Social Security. It's never too early to start thinking about planning. And then we had the Women in Financial Planning workshop, which is a great workshop in itself for women. Then we have early mid-career workshop. And then we had the individual retirement counseling sessions, which will be traveling here later this year throughout the state. Of course, you can always go to our website and create an online account where you can actually run your own calculations if you want. If not, you can call us and we can run them over the phone for you. And there's our contact information. We're here at 22 East Capitol, Suite 8, just right across from the St. Charles if you're in Pierre. You can stop in and visit with a planner 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Or contact us on the web or pick up the phone and give us a call. We'll answer any questions that you might have. Okay. Now let's talk about the supplemental retirement plan. This is a really good program. It's a 457B plan. It's kind of a cousin to a 401k. It's available to all SDRS members. And the nice thing about this plan is that there's no penalty for distributions for 59.5. Now you can contribute to the plan pre-tax or post-tax, depending on your situation, and all the earnings grow, tax deferred. It's easy. You just decide how much you want to contribute. Make sure you name beneficiaries, because this is separate from your SDRS account. So the beneficiaries you have over here can be different than what you have here at SDRS. You can change it, your amount monthly if you wanted to. The minimum amount that you can contribute is $25 a month, and the most is $19,500 per year. And they adjust that maximum amount every year. Now, the best part about that, I mean, one of the nice things I should say about this plan is it has a very low cost. It's only 0.16%, which you won't find that cheaper anywhere else. Very, very, very reasonable. Talks about you can do the Roth conversion, you can do the Roth option if you'd like after taxes. The thing about Roth, though, is the earnings are tax-free, assuming that you don't take money out after the first contribution, the first 5 years, and then they're made. Now this one, they have to be made after 59.5 for Roth. Now, as a state employee, you're auto-enrolled into the Supplemental Retirement Plan, or SRP, at $25 a month. What we find is that when as a retirement planner, we're out there and we hear folks say, well, I wish I would have known about this about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and I would have saved extra money in there. The nice thing about it is you can opt out if you want to. Talks about the $25 a month there. Now, let's take a look at auto escalation. That's the part that the state has opted for as well. So, we keep a lot of folks stay in the supplemental, about 90%. However, about 84% of them never increase past $25 a month. So the state has instituted an auto escalation program in this, and each July it's auto escalated. And let's take a look at Joe and Jane. They both start in January of 21. Joe just makes the minimum contribution of $25 per month, and Jane elects to do the auto escalation. And you can see over time, assuming a 7% return, Joe puts in $10,800 and ends up with $47,000, and Jane ends up with she puts in $86,000 and ends up with $245,000. In 30 years, what's $245,000 going to be worth? I don't know, but I know one thing: it's worth more than $47,000. So I think that the auto escalation is a nice feature that they have. And it's also and they do it on July 1st, so you don't really see it because it correlates with the pay raises that we hopefully get. Here's the opt-out period, day 1 through 90. If you choose to opt out of the supplemental retirement plan, you can go ahead and opt out of the supplemental and get all your contributions back. No harm, no foul. After day 91, then you're in the system. The only way you can withdraw funds out of there is if you were to quit your employment. And so. Now, the nice thing about the SRP is you can take the money out however you like. Once you retire, you can take it all out at once and pay the tax on it, and spend the money if you want. You can take it out a little bit at a time. Over time, you can annuitize it. There's all kinds of options that you have with your funds there in the supplemental retirement plan. Talks about that. I got a little ahead of myself there. Now they have a phone number here in Pierre. It's 605-224-2230. And the nice thing about when you call Pierre, you'll talk to Lori, the receptionist, or then you'll talk to June or Jamie. And that's all they work with is the SDRS supplemental retirement plan. The 800 number is a call center in Ohio. Now, one thing I want to mention: all the investment options that you have to select from in the supplemental retirement plan have been pre-selected by the Investment Council out of Sioux Falls, and those are the folks that invest SDRS's money. So they take a look at it, say, yeah, we think these are good investments, and we'll let we'll have our people invest in these options. And they review that once a year, and if they see one on there that's not doing well, or they're just has really fallen behind, they'll go ahead and take that one off and replace it with something else that they think is a better choice for us to use. So I'll kind of open this up now for any questions you all might have. Looking at the Q&A box, I don't see anything in there yet. And that's the end of my slides. So anybody got any questions, just feel free to either you can chime in or you can put it in the Q&A box.
Well, you just must have done such a great job.
Then everybody left.
And we could certainly give it a few more minutes, and maybe
Oh.
something will, maybe there'll be a question here.
Okay.
That somebody comes up with. There you go. Oh, we are here. Oh, did you see that? Awesome. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
This is really the South Dakota retirement systems, I think, just a fantastic benefit for South Dakota, for state employees.
Oh,
I know. I came over from I worked for a city government for 17 years, and just rolled right when I went to, when I got my position with state of South Dakota, I didn't even have to miss a beat. Everything went, all of my credit for all of my previous service. And so it was really nice to be able to have all of my retirement just keep on with my state employment, and then just all the really great benefits of South Dakota retirement system.
Yep, you just moved right along. Just moved employer units, and your plan just followed you right along.
It did.
I got it. Yep, we got a Q&A here asking. Recently moved from a classroom teacher to Department of Ed employee. Am I part of the same retirement group class? I received a letter welcoming me to SDRS, but I thought I was already in. Yep. What happens is, as long as you were a contributing member over there as a teacher with SDRS, at an SDRS employer unit, we just follow you right along. And what we do is we just change your employer unit on your account, and everything stays the same. And you'd be a foundation member, I take it, probably then. Yep. So we'll just, everything will work out good. We'll just follow you right along. Nothing you have to do with your account here. Yeah, Michelle, that's nice too. If you're a foundation member, you kind of keep that rule of 85 stays solid for you too that way.
Well, and I thought that was nice too, because really, if I wanted to, I could retire in the next 8 years. I really could. I don't think I will, but
Yep. We'd like to, but we just can't afford to.
Well, it's just,
Oh, got another question here. Oh. I find this PowerPoint to rewatch with my husband.
So we'll post it within about 48 hours. What we generally do, we record the session, and then we post it on the BHR website, bhr.sd.gov. And you can watch, we have one with Alan that's already posted there. We'll go ahead and post this one within about 48 hours, and you'll be able to go through and actually watch the presentation. We also have a PDF that we post so that you could actually have a hard copy. Now, this one, I noticed there's a couple things that are updated from the last one that we did. So I'm going to get the new copy from you folks and get that posted on our website as well. So so the website, so bhr.sd.gov, and then you'll be able to go down to the new employee orientation series, and you'll find the 3 different recordings of our 3 different sessions. The one we had earlier today, this South Dakota retirement session, and then we'll also post the benefits session that we have tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Like I said, within about 48 hours of these presentations.
Okay, we got a question in the chat. Let's see here. I was 19. How many? I'm on here with Jerry helping him, but when I started when I was 19. How many years I have to be here before I get full retirement? Now, what SDRS? If you were 19, did you start before July of 2017? Oh, last year. Okay, so full retirement age is 67. You'd be a generational member. And if you can retire prior to that, anywhere from age 57 on up to age 67. Before 67, it's reduced by 5% for every year. So 67 is full retirement age, but you can retire as early as 57 with a reduction. Okay, got a question too about buying back service with the new retirement system. Yeah, you just give us a call, and if you have any prior public employment, you can that you're not eligible for a benefit from, you're eligible to buy that in SDRS, and that being like federal, state, city, county, anything like that. And just give us a call here in Pierre at 773-3731, and a planner can help you with that purchase. Looking at the purchase and see if it makes sense for you. Oh, one thing on the purchase, what I'll tell you, well, on that equation that we had on there, that goes in the service part then. So if you buy like 5 years of service, you would get 5 more years in that calculation. We do the calculation, we do the total years of service. Gotcha.
And it truly is a lifetime benefit. I mean, they don't, Ellen usually tells a story about, I think the oldest member currently is what, 100 and, what did he say, 105?
She was 109 and she missed her 110th. Yep, and she missed her 110th birthday by 4 days.
And it sounds like she just passed away. Was it this year or last year? And she was still getting her South Dakota retirement benefits.
Yep, she passed away in February. I just had a member that I just closed his account out. He was widowed, and he took out, over the lifetime of his benefit, he took out 1.1 million.
So this, yeah, fantastic benefit for state employees. Well, not just state, but we're concerned with state employees. So we'll talk about state.
And it's good for our economy too, because that those folks are having this constant income. We're putting this money back in the system, and they're spending it in the towns, and buying things with it, and helping spur their local economies.
Okay, well, we can go ahead. It looks like we don't have any more questions. Definitely reach out to South Dakota Retirement System if you have any additional questions. Contact information is there on the screen for the supplemental. And I think that 224-2230 is actually also the basic or the regular retirement program. Is that correct?
No, we're 773-3731.
Okay, so 773-3731.
Yep.
Okay, so if they have anything, they can follow up, or they can, they can reach out to Bureau of Human Resources. We'll get you connected or transferred or whatever we need to do to help you out with any other questions. So yeah, well, thank you so much for filling in for Alan. And I think we're done. Do you have any parting words?
No, just say, please use a supplemental retirement plan. I don't get any kickbacks, but we've never had anybody retire that says they've got too much money. But I would like to find someone that says that someday.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, and everybody have a great rest of your day.
You bet. You're welcome. Have a good day.